Alright, I'm going to be all professional and shit about this. So, we got to have a proper introduction. And welcome everyone to the Precision Racing League's PS4 F1 2017 League. As normally at this time you would hear the sultry tones of one Mr. Game of Jones. Instead, you're getting the nasally drone of one Mr. Old Man Hoot tonight. As the best in the world here tackle China for race number 2 of season number 9. Everybody's going to get loaded in. We are going to have 16 drivers tonight. Now, what we just found out before this started, we actually have 2 pretty big guns not making it tonight. One would be our runner-up from last season, Mebe, who's not going to make it. And then normal crowd favorite, Nick Dahi, is also not here tonight. So 2 of the guys who would normally contend for at least a podium are not going to be in the field. So that's really going to open up a shot for some of our other guys. And according to Pork Chop, it looks like our guys in D2 are going to have dry quali and dry race. Now, if this game had a proper spectator mode, I could tell you about D1's weather. However, since all I could do is just skim through drivers, I have no idea until somebody puts it in chat. So, we're going to have a couple minutes here. Everybody's getting their final setups in and whatnot. Let's go ahead and lay out the picture for you guys tonight, what we've seen so far. Like I said, Mebe, Nick Dahi, normal 2 favorites, not in the race tonight. Both missing. Going back to last week, the season opener at Australia. Your current points leader, McSendit, coming off his first career pole, first career win. Tons of momentum. When I checked earlier in the afternoon, fastest of all the guys in time trials. So he's looking to ride his momentum and maybe go 2 for 2 tonight. Try to extend that points lead. Last week's runner-up, defending 3-time champion, Forza Alonso. He really regretted his tire decision at Australia. He felt like that cost him a better shot at the win. Maybe it cost him a shot at getting closer. McSendit just had insane world-class speed last week. It really would have been hard to top him. But Forza's kind of kicked himself in the butt. You know he'll want a big bounce back. Sitting third for his first podium last week, B-More, newcomer to the league. Fantastic preseason, carried over into Australia. Everything was looking great for him. Before I continue, let's go ahead and get the camera on somebody. There we go. Following B-More, rookie Lance Stroy. Another one who has shown just amazing things throughout preseason. Carried it on in Australia. He'll look to continue strong. And then rounding up the top 5 from last week, Kameps. So, McSendit and Forza, no shock from last season. 2 of the guys running up front, followed by 3 PRL rookies who just impressed the hell. Now, Lance Troy did have a couple races at the end of last year. Still consider him a rookie. But just goes to show the competition that we have. It's just flat out nuts. Now, everybody's getting kind of filtered out here to start quali. We're going to go ahead and hop on Forza here. Alright, I'm going to take you guys a lap around with Forza. So here he is. He's going to start his hot lap. He's on the super softs. Now, turn 1 here is very tricky, very long, very windy, and actually turns into turn 2 right there. It's really easy to over-push your car. Or, excuse me, right here. It's really easy to over-push your car. You have to be super smooth. Turn 3, not too shabby, nice, easy on this little straight here to set you up for a very quick turn 4. All right. Exit here off turn 4 could actually help you set up to turn 5, make a slight overtake as somebody catches the rumble strips, maybe slides a little much. Now, turn 5, it was a little hard to tell there. It's a very fast sweeping left. Going into that very fast sweeping left, turn 6. Turn 7, which Forza just passed, very easy to overdrive, and you don't want to do that because as you see coming off turn 8, you have a nice little straightaway right here. Very important to carry that speed. You got your left-hander turn 9 into your right-hander turn 10. Turn 10 is huge right here. Sweeping right-hander leads into the longest straight that you will see in the Formula One season. This right here, I'm really hoping we do get a dry race. Normally we want to root for rain. We had rain last time we came to China last season. That straightaway is just key for overtakes, especially going into this tight right-hander. So hopefully we'll get dry conditions. We open up DRS, and then guys are passing left and right. Then your final left-hand turn right there, very fast. Another huge long straight going into turn 1. Another DRS opportunity. And then that's how you do 1:32 around China, thanks to Forza Alonso. Now, sitting pretty early, but Forza, well, last I saw popped on the screens, Forza is our current pole sitter at 1:32. Now, if I'm correct, I think I did see a 1:31 in time trials with McSendit. So, let's see if he happens to be out on the track. Yes, he is. Oh, perfect. Here he comes out of the last turn. Now, I'm not sure if he's on a flyer or if that was the end of his... Oh, he's still flying, so that may have just been the end of his outlap. See if we can have any splits. Unfortunately, we still have this bug. Okay, so that was definitely McSendit's outlap. No time posted. Forza sitting at a 1:32, or pretty much a 1:32.6. And it looks like we still got a bunch of guys who need to set times because it's a pretty decent jump to Aerostrike. He's sitting at a 33.1, so over half a second right now. But I mean, we're only halfway through quali. A lot of guys right now are just on their flying laps, and you see, I believe that was Forza there on his cooldown lap, trying to preserve everything that he can into these super softs. Unfortunately, I was not able to get a good tire breakdown of what we were going to see today, so we're going to go ahead and just wing it and guess at what these guys are going to do. Alright, you just saw the back fin open up for McSendit into the DR zone. Depending on the aero package you're running with the downforce, you're hitting at least 210. Maybe guys will be in the 2-teens before you hit that braking zone. It's an insanely fast straightaway, especially if you get the tow from someone. All right, McSendit coming to the line. 32.4, so not as fast as we saw in time trials, which is to be expected, but good enough right now. Currently sit on the pole. That was about 18 hundredths faster than Forza, I believe. Let's see what we get here. Yep, about 18 hundredths. So less than 2/10 separating first and second right now. And his McSendit is still going? I believe he is. He's pushing pretty hard right now. I'm really... Unless he's trying to push as hard as he can to get to the pits and put on another set of super softs. That might be it. Because with only 4 minutes to go, he is really going to have to get to the pits, get the tires on, and get back out if he wants to set another lap. Now, let's try to find my man Mitch. Also showing some great speed in time trials. Currently going to the garage. I'm pretty sure this is going to be a quick tire change, and then he'll get back out. Let's see where he's sitting at. Get the directory to work. A 33.2. So currently puts him 5th. So I'm pretty sure he's going to get the tires, get on back out there. All right. Let's go ahead and hop back out on the track. All right, here we see B-Mork, our man currently sitting 3rd in the points after his first podium last week, electing on the softs. So B-More might be playing a tire strategy game. Maybe not necessarily worried about pole, worried about a top 5. Going to put all his focus in on the race. which would have helped me last week because I picked him to be my most improved, except he had to go out and have a great qualifying and then a great race. Looking nice and smooth. You're not seeing a lot of curb touching out of him, which is to be expected too. Right there was a little curb touch, but it wasn't bad at that slow a speed. Running the harder compound tires, you normally just want to keep tire contact to the road as much as possible. Try to keep that speed up because you know your grip and your turns won't be there compared to like the super softs. All right, and he opens up DRS. And heavy on the brakes around that 100-meter marker. Oh, did not look like a clean exit. That little, not necessarily a hairpin, but close enough. Looks smooth coming out. And, of course, I don't have a time. Let's see where he popped up on those softs compared to McSendit. And... oh, wow. Great lap on those softs. Currently, B Moore sitting third with a 133 flat. About just around a half second off Forza, and a little within a second of, or within 6/10 or so of McSendit, 7/10. So, really not bad hopping on that next level of tire. So, I'm pretty sure B Moore is very happy with that. As you can see, slowed way down. At this point, he's totally fine with his qualifying effort. He's going to conserve as much tire as possible. Just bring her in the pit. All right, we got Forza Alonso back out there. Looks like he's about to start a flyer. Let's check in on McSendit. McSendit's back out. I thought so. Got another pair of super softs. Now, he's definitely going to... he's just now entering the backstretch. He's definitely going to be able to make it to the start-finish line within that 53 seconds, so he'll get another full lap in. So, let's get back to Forza. Like we said last week, Forza, disappointed with the runner-up. Didn't get the quality he wanted. Didn't choose the right tire strategy. Wants to reassert his dominance. He did have the fastest lap. Now, he was the one last week who denied McSendit the hat trick. He had the softer tires at the end of the race with less fuel, was able to put the fastest lap down in the race, even though he finished 6 seconds behind McSendit. I know Forza wants to get the pole here. So far, looking pretty smooth. Now, the right side of the tires was a little bit on the curb. These aren't as violent as curbs as some tracks. Now, a lesser skilled driver like myself, if I try to brake going on that curbing, I'm killing the car. Forza, it's nothing to him. All right, here we go. DRS is open. 203, 205, 208 before he stomped on the brake. Nice exit out of that tight right-hander. Here he comes out of the final left. Ran it wide, kept the lefts on. Could not improve. All right. Current pole sitter, McSendit. On the long straight. Opened up DRS. Yes, Pork Brian is racing tonight. As soon as qualifying's over, I'll let you know where he's at. Unfortunately, the grid is all jacked up. Ooh. Sounds like D2 is going to have a dry with a sprinkle at the end. That's going to be interesting for tires. Alright, McSendit takes the checker flag. I did not see a new time pop up, so I don't believe he bettered himself. However, he should still be sitting on the pole. Let's see what we have here. Or did I completely miss it? I did! Mitch! Mitch snuck it in. A 32.397. Wow. 8 1/1000ths. He clipped McSendit by. 8/1000ths. When did that happen? Why does this game suck? Where's my telemetry? Why didn't fireworks open up? I missed the Project Cars 2 leaderboard. Anyway, that's fantastic. That would be Mitch's first official poll in the F1 League for PRL. McSendit, Forza. Sitting 4th and 5th, newcomers Aerostrike and Sweet Tooth. Of course, we saw B More. Now, this will be interesting. We're looking at 6th and 7th. B More, Lance Stroy. Our first 2 starters on softs. They're going to be looking to play the tire game. The question is, do they go to a soft to a medium? Do they try the one-stop? Or, I would assume tire wear has to be a factor here. This is a pretty tight track. I don't think you could do a soft, super soft one-stopper. There it is, official. Mitch Mann, sitting P1. Congratulations to him on his first pole. McSendit. 7/1000ths. Completely insane. And Forza in thirds within 2/10. As we run out the rest of the field, like we were talking about, Aerostrike, Sweet Tooth, B More, Lance Troy. Oh, at the end, B Colley ends up. Or no, I'm sorry. B Colley was after Lance Troy. Aaron Webb on softs had a rough week last week, looking to play some tighter strategy, make it bounce back. And then my pick for most improved, Psycho Sui, will finish out 10th. Psycho, I need you, buddy. Get up there, fight for that podium. I want those points. And then as we saw, Gordow, I'm trying to say too many names at one time. J-Rod, Kemeps, and I believe that was one Mr. Brian Mosser in 14th position. Now, as you know, with F1, all our gentlemen from 11th on back can pick whatever tire they wish to choose from, and we'll start on a fresh set. 1 through 10 will all start on the tires they qualified on. So, as everybody's loading up, we're going to go ahead and give it a few seconds here. Now, we will have a formation lap. Everybody's going to get a chance to warm up the tires, warm up the brakes. We'll be able to sneak a peek in the back of the field, look at the rest of the qualifying order on the gentlemen that I've missed. And then we'll grid it up, and then we're going to see one hell of a start with that insanely tricky turn 1/turn 2. Alright, here they go for the formation lap. So, as we said, on pole, Mitch Mann. Last week's winner, current points leader, McSendit. Defending champion, Forza. Aerostrike, Sweet Tooth, B More, Lance Troy, B Colley, Aaron Webb, Psycho Sui. There's your top 10. Gordow, starting 11th, is elected to start on fresh mediums. He's going to get the slowest tire out of the way early. Now, this could work to his favor. I mean, it really depends on what happens. Now, starting in the 11th spot, you're in the middle of the gaggle. You don't have to make a mistake. Somebody around you can make the mistake, and before you know it, you have to pit for an early wing or something like that. It'll totally throw off your strategy. I've had success doing what Gordow's about to try. I've been bitten on the same strategy that Gordow's about to try, so we'll keep an eye on him and see how he makes that work. I would assume, starting on the mediums, Gordow is going to go for a one-stop, depending on his tire wear and how. Oh, and he just slid it. The broadcaster curse is real. He's not going to have any damage for the race. It's going to throw him back on the grid. He'll be completely fine, and he'll take out the DHL sign. J-Rod starting 12th. Elected to start on supers, so maybe not as confident in his tire wear. Maybe he knows he has to do 2 pit stops. Wants to try to gain it early positions. Kemeps. Oh, this is terrible to try to see tires in. Oh my god, who's teleporting? Please don't let that be Brian. Yep, we've... hate to see it. We're already seeing some lag out of Brian. Hopefully that calms down. His connection stabilizes. We don't have any shenanigans. And it looks like, so everybody else in the back here electing to start on at least softs. You see Chemex on softs, Brian on softs, Zeus Man on softs, and K-Dog on softs. So Gordow, the only one electing to start on mediums. Alright, everybody's gridded up. Here we go. Let's have a nice clean start. No glitches. Let's get everybody off the line. There's a giant airplane. Lights are out. I don't know if maybe I had a fast light or everybody had a terrible start, but right off the bat, Chemeps, great start, making a bunch of early moves. All right, here we go. Looks like top three running the same. Mitch Man, oh! Side by side. Can Forza capitalize now on McSendit trying to make that move on Mitch? Nope. McSendit's going to have the momentum running off that high side. He'll keep Forza to third. Very, very close up front. And as we see, so we have Aerostrike, Sweet Tooth, B-More, Lance Droid. So pretty much, right now running pretty much where they started. Except it looks like Chemeps is the big winner off that start. Already up into 8th. All right. Let's go ahead and keep it back up front. Let's see how we get going here. And then we'll go ahead and make our way through the field. So far, I haven't seen any retirees. Of course, with any start of the race, we might have a broken wing or two out there. We might see some lap 1 pit stops. Man, what a beautiful look down that straight. Oh no, I see a red car all the way in the back. Unfortunately, I believe that might be Aaron, who qualified 8th. May have had some issues. We'll check back in on that in a minute. So, extend it all over Mitch. Now, no DRS. We won't get that until lap 3, but he's going to get a good toe off of him. I don't think it's going to be good enough to make a move in turn 1. Nope. Forza still hanging in there. 1, 2, 3. As Jobs would like to say, put a blanket on him. And to be honest, it'll probably stay like this for a while. Not what Mitch Man wants to hear. We know he wants to go ahead and run away with it, but right now, super close. The best thing that could happen right now for Mitch, he needs to keep it clean. If somebody was to slip up, get a 1-second gap. Once we hit lap 3, as long as you have a second gap behind the car, or with the car behind you, they will not get DRS. Now, we've talked about it. 2 super long straightaways at this track. DRS is huge. So Mitch getting a little bit of an early gap. There's our first retiree, B. Colley. Let's go ahead and check the directory real quick. Looks like it may have been a connection issue. No terminal damage. Now, here's what we can look at. So, we had a ton of collisions. It looks like Aaron got into the back of Lance Troy. Chemeps got into it with J-Rod. J-Rod's got it with Chemeps. Zeus Man and Gordow got into it. I'm assuming, unfortunately, Aaron probably maybe had a spin along with that contact. Let's see. Oh, yeah. Unfortunately, he does have a damaged wing. You can see the rear end of that car sliding out really bad. Aaron, unfortunately, currently bringing up the rear. We have Zeus Man. I don't know if he already made a pit stop to hop on those mediums. I could have swore Gordow was the only one I saw on the whites. Let's go ahead and try to check through the field. Oh! Oh! Perfect time to jump in here for 10th place as we had a tight battle going on. And early troubles for Lance. Qualified 7th. Well, he may have lost a position or two. Gets it back from Psycho. Let's go ahead and check back up front. Mitch Man, leader. All right, now this is going to be huge because when they come back to the straightaways, DRS is going to be activated. Mitch, only 9/10 of a second lead right now. Big big wiggle out of McSendit. That might be exactly what Mitch needed. Or not. He gained a tenth. I wonder if McSendit was up maybe a couple tenths and then lost a little bit on that power wiggle he had there when he lost traction. So as of this moment, McSendit still in DRS range when we come back to start lap 4. Or no, he did not have DRS. It looked like Forza had his enabled. But, like we said, at these straightaways, as you saw, McSendit did not have DRS open. Didn't matter. He had the toe. He was able to keep it with Mitch. And here we go, crossing the line. Mitch, still your leader. McSendit, 6 tenths back. Forza, 8 tenths back. Now, that's the biggest thing with Forza. He's a second and a half off Mitch. That's fine. As long as he stays within a second of McSendit. Keep that DRS. He wants McSendit to have DRS on Mitch to keep him close, and then Forza wants to stay close to McSendit and get pretty much a double DRS boost there. Alright, let's give a little love. 4th place, starting to gap a little bit, but Aerostrike qualified 4th. Currently sitting in 4th, very nice and comfy. Now an early move, and Sweet Tooth also qualified 5th. Same, looking very sharp, very smooth. Both those guys having a great start. Kmeps, our big mover so far, now up to 6th. Remember, he started outside the top 10. He's on fresh softs. Great start for him. Now, I believe B-More, he was the first one to start on the softs. So, maybe the strategy's looking good. Kmeps getting in front of him right now. Maybe plays it off just a little bit, but sitting right. J-Rod, 8th. Lance Troy lost a couple of positions like we talked about earlier. Currently sitting 9th, still in the points. And Psycho, qualified 10th, currently sitting 10th. That is not how you win me most improved, Psycho. Go up there. Pass people. Go. Brian Mosser jumped up 3 spots so far, sitting in 11th. Little too far back right now, Psycho, to get any kind of DRS, so he'll need to put together a nice couple laps. Try to close that gap. Not terrible. Let's see, 13 and a half. So he's within 2 seconds of Psycho. He needs to trim that down. He needs to cut that in half. 12-2. All right, so unfortunately in that Sector 3, Brian did lose time. So no, he is over 2 seconds. So now, while DRS is important, Brian also had, really bad lag. Please let that clear up. I don't want to see Brian have any bad luck due to lag. Oh, we got to spin. Kmeps! Oh, he had such a great start. He is in the inside, exiting turn 3. That just took away every advantage that he just had from that start. Now, we saw him close to the wall. I'm trying to stare at my TV now. Look like the wing might be intact. Killer for Kmeps. He had a great start. He was up to 6th. It just took away his tire strategy. It really just did. Sick for him. Alright. Zeusman, we know he has tremendous speed. Not having the start he wants. Obviously had to make a pit stop. Only being 44 seconds behind only after 5 laps. And then, as we were talking about earlier, Aaron Webb, unfortunately, it's that lap 1, turn 1 contact. Unfortunately, it ate a handful of guys. Nobody DNF'd from it, but as you can tell, it could put a hurting on drivers early, especially since we unfortunately have the glitch in this game with no safety car. These guys know now it's looking a little grim, but you got to get it out of your head. The only thing you can do now is just drive your ass off for the next 25, 30 minutes, and maybe some other guys have troubles and you can make the best of it. Let's go back up front. Mitch, still leading. I believe, looking at that spacing, he might have the 1 second gap that he needs. Now, the last sector was 1.4 seconds. Let's see. We're going to hit the... We should hit the Sector 2 timing somewhere around here. But just kind of basing off spacing, I don't think McSendit's going to be in DRS range, so that'll be great for Mitch. Especially because Forza is close enough. Forza will definitely have DRS, and if Forza and McSendit start going to wheel, that's what Mitch wants. Now, McSendit was able to trim it up, but it looks like he's still beyond a second, unless he had a really good... All right, let's see. No, camera, don't fail me. Oh, camera, you're failing me. Oh, I hate you, camera, so much. So much. He must have had DRS because McSendit closed the gap. And Forza is still right on his tail. And, on top of that, Aerostrike, still not far behind. Sweet Tooth, still not far behind. We have an amazing battle going on up front. Lots of speed. Lots of clean racing going on. Really, right now, a bit of a chess match. All these guys starting on Super Softs. It's... Maybe we got some tire conservation going on between all of them. Maybe nobody really wants to push it too hard. Maybe they go Super Softs medium. Maybe everybody we're staring at right here goes for a one-stopper. Now, we did see J-Rod on the bottom before. And there it is, unfortunately, our first terminal damage after receiving a stop-and-go penalty. So I don't know if he wrecked himself going into the pits, trying to serve it, or what may have happened there. But unfortunately, the end of J-Rod's race, not one that he was looking for. That's another thing. When you carry so much speed, look at the inside of those red tires. That's not a second coat of red paint, folks. You're staring at the brakes. They are glowing red. But that's what happens when you're doing 210 miles an hour and you've got to slow down to about 80. All right, McSendit, no DRS. Forza, DRS, here he goes on the outside. No, Forza thinks better of it. Can he do the under? Nope, slides it back in. Now Forza still on his tail, though. Mitch pitted. Mitch went into the pits. He's the first one to blink. McSendit now P1. All right, Mitch only took those super soft 7 laps. Something tells me he's on a super soft strategy. Now we're going to keep the battle here. We'll check in on Mitch, see where he comes out of the pits. Forza all over McSendit right now. We saw Komeps retiring. Unfortunately, he had that great start. He had that spin, took away every advantage he has, and I don't know, maybe the car had some sweet mercy on him and just called it a night. We'll have to double check and go back and check on that later. And as we're seeing here too, as we're watching the battle for the lead right now between McSendit and Forza, Aerostrike not far behind. Sweet Tooth falling behind a little bit, but still clearly within the picture, depending on the straightaway we're at. So very, very impressive runs by those gentlemen early on. All right. Before they hit the straightaways, let's check real quick. Mitch Mann, pitted. He elected to go back on supers. So he's going a super, a medium. All right. He's 21 seconds behind. Already cleared himself of K-Dog. And he's got Brian Mosser in front of him. Let's see. Now, this is the downfall of having to pit early. You know you have speed. You're trying to do the multiple tires. You just want to go balls out. But that'll put you in traffic. And oh my God! Did he make contact with Brian? Yes, it was. All right. Scary, scary moment for Mitch. I'm not sure what happened with Brian. I saw Brian incredibly low coming into that sweeper. Normally, you run it high. You want to carry the momentum. Brian may have lost the ass end of it a little bit and slid up into Mitch. All right, biggest thing with Mitch right now. That was a freaking scary moment. It looks like your wing's intact. All your tires are on. Okay. Stop, regroup, get your head on right. You're still in contention. He needs to clear Brian as soon as possible. While that's going on, let's go ahead and check back up front. McSendit still in the lead. I do not see a Forza. Wait, is that right? Forza's sitting in 7th. 5.5 seconds back. That wasn't a pit. Was that an off? We need multiple screens. Okay. Now the time caught up. Okay, so Forza may have pit and may have elected to go to the super softs again. I'm hoping so. I hope there wasn't a spin or anything that killed him. All right, now we just saw in front. Mitchman gets around Brian. It looked like Brian that time just moved out of the way for him. Brian's having some grips handle. He started on those softs. They're maybe going away. He doesn't want to get in the way. He probably feels bad about banging wheels with Mitch. He's letting them guys go by because he knows those two are going to end up fighting for the lead. Quality sportsman play by Brian. All right. Now it looks like Mitch had enough of a gap on Forza. There's going to be no DRS. All right, let's get ourselves back up front in case we miss a whole slew of pit stops again. All right, Lance Troy up to 4th. All right, McSendit, here we go. McSendit in the pits. Let's see where he comes out. All right, McSendit. He went 10 laps on supers. Based on that, I'm going to say he can take these mediums 18 laps. There goes Mitch. There goes Forza. All right, so McSendit. Mitch and Forza use those super softs. Probably put it in Rich. Put down some nice heaters. You could already see what happens. The three of those guys are running nose to tail. Now look at the gaps between the three of them. So McSendit's now going to clear his head up. He doesn't need to care what Forza and Mitch are doing. He knows those two are stopping again. They're going to have to go on softs. At this point, McSendit needs to focus on hitting every marker he has and making the best out of those mediums. All right, tire strategies. I love it. All right, now that our front three, let's go ahead and try to guess who the hell is leading this race. Nope, that's me going in the wrong way. All right, Aerostrike inherited the lead. Now, he's still on his original set of super softs, so won't be shocked if he comes in now. Won't be shocked he puts on mediums, and then that'll be the race for him. Yep, there he goes. All right, where's Sweet Tooth at? Sweet Tooth gonna follow him in? Sweet Tooth following him in. All right, now we know Lance started on softs. However, here's the thing with Lance, and as we see Mitch and Forza throwing down the fastest laps of the race right now, those guys knows what's at stake. They know that McSendit doing the one-stopper, so Mitch and Forza now are pretty much 17 laps of qualifying. They have to get everything out of the tires and everything out of the track that they can. Now for Lance, he had early troubles. We saw him fall back to 9th. We know there's no virtual safety car, no regular safety car. Lance, due to those early struggles, probably not going to get a chance to win, let's face it. However, he could use this tire strategy to his advantage. Now, does he go ahead and pit here soon to throw on mediums, or has he taken enough care of those softs? Does he try to push those to maybe lap 16, maybe lap 17, which would, I'm assuming, would be incredibly long on softs to maybe put on supers? I wouldn't be shocked if we see Lance come in this time. He's down the long straight. We'll go ahead and keep an eye on him real quick, see what he decides to do, and then we'll go ahead and hop in the back and check out. So Lance is second, Forza third, McSendit fourth, Aerostrike. See K-Dog sitting in, I believe that would make, yep, there goes Lance. Not a shock. All right, I'm pretty sure we're going to see some white wall tires, and that'll be it for Lance after that. Now, Lance will probably get to be able to run those mediums harder than the rest because he stayed out longer. So it's just a matter of, you're on the hardest compound, the slowest compound. Yep, there's the whites. He's got to get everything he can out of those tires. Now let's look. Oh, Forza. That's well within DRS range of Mitch. So now let's look. All right, McSendit. Here, not a huge shock here. Forza and Mitch on the fastest tires. McSendit on the slowest tires. He's fallen back over 6 seconds. That's okay. He's not going to sweat it right now. He knows he's playing for the long haul. He doesn't care about laps 12 through 20 like Mitch and Forza have to do. He's worried about the next 16 laps overall, so he's just going to hit his marks, put down his times. And if you're Aero Strike, you got to have a little bit of confidence right now, too. You're about 2 seconds back of McSendit on the same tire strategy as him. You're looking pretty good for a solid finish here. All right, let's fall back to Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth, same thing. Qualified 5th. Been pretty much running 5th this whole race. We see the mediums. That's it for him. He's not looking for another pit stop. He wants to take these bad boys all the way. K-Dog. K-Dog was allowed to start on those fresh softs. Whoa! Really, really, really tight between K-Dog and Lance Stroy. Lance had to let off there a little bit. He has the DRS, but he did have to let off. Make sure he didn't run in the back of K-Dog. Here he comes. Yep. Lance is going to get the inside. K-Dog's not going to fight him too hard on it. I wouldn't be surprised if we see the K-Dog pit now. And then that way... And there he goes. Man, I'm good. It's almost like I ran in this league at some point. He'll definitely put on mediums. And actually, so with 15 laps, he can run those mediums as hard as he wants, I would assume, at that point. All right, now the K-Dog's in. So Lance sitting in 6th. B-More in 7th on supers. So we know B-More didn't have the start that he really originally wanted. Him and Lance were the first guys on soft tires. Now, here's what works in Lance's favor, though. So Lance started on softs. He's already on mediums. Should be good to go. He's got to conserve those mediums a little bit, though. B-More, not as lucky. He's already got super softs. He's admitted, hey, there's no one-stop for him. At this point, he's got to get everything out of these tires to an extent. He's just going to have to make a second pit stop. And I don't know if he has a second pair of softs. We know he'll have a second pair of super softs. But it's going to be really hard to make him last that long carrying the speed that he's going to. Psycho Sui, my man for most improved. Up 2 spots. Psycho, do this. I got you. Do this. He's sitting on supers. He'll have another pit stop to go. Aaron, after those disaster of a start, currently right now sitting in the points, sitting on softs. Unfortunately, I'm not exactly sure what his pit strategy is looking like. I'm really hoping that, he's probably going to pit again if he's on softs right now, unless he just put them on. But we saw Aaron over 50 seconds behind. That tells me he has not pit sense. So he'll have to make another pit stop. We'll see if Aaron will be able to make it into back up to the points after that. Now, we saw Brian earlier sliding around on those softs that he started on. Made his pit stop. He's now on hards. A little bit of a lag jump still out of Brian, but an open track right now. So shouldn't be an issue. Now, Brian at this point needs to focus on his marks, conserve tires. Love Brian. Brian's not known for tire conservation, so he needs to make those guys last. We saw it at the end of last year where Brian had really good runs and he thought, he was going to get 6th place, 7th place, but then the tires wore out on him in the end. He had to make an additional pit stop. Hopefully he can make these last and we won't see that bite him. Zeusman, same thing with Aaron. Early troubles. He's on the softs, on the mediums. He took those mediums early. Now, the fact that Aaron already got around him on the softs, both drivers are going to have to make another pit stop. We'll see what happens there with those guys. K-Dog on softs. So we know for sure K-Dog's going to be definitely good to go. He won't have to do too much tire conservation. These softs should be fine because he went 13, or these mediums will be fine. He did go 13 laps on a soft. So at this point, he's seeing if he can maybe chase down Brian. He knows he's going to get spots when DSZ and Aaron pit. So he's going to be looking good. All right, there's B-More on the mediums now. Sitting and battling wheel to wheel with Gordow. We'll watch these guys and then we'll make our way back up front real quick. Both of them have DRS, so this is pretty much who's got the bigger balls to break into that turn. And Gordow plopped him on the table and took the spot. All right. So 12 drivers still currently in the race. We've had a couple DNFs and we've had a pass for the lead. Not a huge stock. We saw Forza before we went through the field, right on Mitch's tail. He was well within DRS range. The only thing I could assume is he used DRS to his advantage, got the lead. Now Mitch going to return the favor. Mitch is right there on Forza. He's well within DRS. Now, both these guys, too, know that, all right, there's McSendit. All right, earlier we saw McSendit about 6 or so seconds. See, Forza and Mitch must have had a little bit of a battle going on because McSendit has gained on those two. So, that's great for McSendit. That's what he's going to love to see. Because so far, Mitch and Forza went super soft, super soft. When they pit, they have to go on softs. And, oh man, they're going to lose... Probably going to lose between, I'm not 100% sure, between 20 and 25 seconds. So they need to widen this gap, and instead it looks like McSendit is running faster. Now here's another part to the strategy. Fuel mapping. Now if Forza and Mitch are running normal, they're saving the rich for the end, they want to get everything out of it. McSendit, unless he's just an alien and putting down crazy lap times on these mediums, he might be running a rich now to try to close that gap. Now, that last sector, he did fall back 2/10. So, we're going to go ahead and keep it on the lead here now for a good chunk. I apologize to my gentleman in the back, but we've got a chess match going on that we're going to see how this plays out. Now, see, Mitch still within DRS zone, but that gap looks a little bit too long to take advantage of it here as we come into the long straight. And some beautiful Chinese writing there in the grandstands. Let's see. Alright, Mitch, DRS activated. Way too far back to make a move into this turn. Now, we have this tight hairpin. The fast left going onto the front stretch. The front stretch, another DRS zone. Let's see if Mitch can potentially gain some ground there. Unless... Oh, no! Mitch blinks first! Here he comes! He's gonna put on the softs. Alright. And then we're gonna see how far Mitch comes out behind. Now here's another thing too. How much traffic is Mitch gonna come out around? There's the softs. This is gonna be it for Mitch. It's gonna be at 12 laps. He can run them as hard as... I can't say he can run them as hard as he needs to because you could tear him up in 12, but he's going to have to run them as hard as he needs to. He's got to get everything he can out of there to catch back up to McSendit. And now here's the thing, though. He's going to have to pass Sweet Tooth. He's going to have to pass Lance. He's going to have to pass Aerostrike. Like, those all for position. Those guys are playing their tire strategy. They're not just going to move out of the way for Mitch and Forza when they try to race their way back up the field. So, McSendit, oh, he's got to be thrilled right now. And he's still within 5 seconds of Forza. As the laps tick off, this is looking better and better for our current points leader. Trying to go back-to-back with wins. Last week at Australia, that was only his first career win. And he wants to go back-to-back. Almost reminds me of a very handsome commentator who won 3 out of 4 races after losing his first 16 in GT3 cars. And there's Forza. Not shock at all. Forza was probably kicking himself in the butt when he saw Mitch dive in. Now, that's the thing. When you're the trailing car, you work that to your advantage. You play that chess game. Alright, there's the yellows. The only thing that can work in Forza's favor now is he has that one less lap he has to run on these softs. And he's got to try to get everything he can out of it. We see a couple cars go by. Now the big thing is, where is that yellow car? Where is that Renault? I believe that was Mitch that just flew by. Yes, it is. So Mitch gets out in front of Forza after the pit cycle. Huge. Alright, now these two, they're in straight hunt 'em down mode. There's no slacking off right now. They're going to have to treat this like 10 straight qualifying laps. You could see the brake rotors there on Mitch glowing. And you can see the green bar next to our tachometer down there. It's just stomping. He cannot push the throttle down hard enough as he wants to right now. All right, they're slowly starting to gain on Sweet Tooth. Sweet Tooth, he knows he's on the mediums, but this is for position. I haven't raced with Sweet Tooth. I know he's got to be ecstatic at the run he's having right now. He won't make it easy. He won't do anything dirty. But, I mean, Mitch and Forza at this point, they need easy passes, and none of these guys in front of them want to make it easy. These guys are having career races right now. Nobody wants to give that up. Slowly creeping in. Let's go ahead and check on. So Lance, currently sitting third. You know, still not safe. I mean, he's got Sweet Tooth and he's got a yellow and a red. Oh, just breathing fire. See, Mitch just set the fastest lap. Oh, those guys are... Oh, they got to be fuming in the cars right now. All right, Aero Strike. 3.3 seconds back. Just gained 100th there in that, so not really anything right now to really look at. We'll see if those hundredths turn into tenths. McSendit, your leader, qualified second, missed out on the second career pole by 7 1/1000ths. Currently your leader. We know he doesn't have to pit again. All right. I'm going the wrong way. Here we go. All right, here's the big thing. Now, Mitch and Forza, they're over 15 seconds back. We've got this, 9.5 laps to go. They're going to need over 1.5 seconds per lap and pass 3 cars. And you see Mitch so close to Sweet Tooth. Gets the run. Now here's the thing with Mitch. He was in the timing zone, so he didn't even need DRS to make the pass. Or did Sweet Tooth able... Okay, now here comes the pass. I thought Mitch was going to be able to run side by side. Looked like Sweet Tooth maybe was able to carry out the high momentum, temporarily gained the position back, and then Mitch took it with DRS. All right, one down for Mitch. Forza, he's going to have DRS here. Still going to have to get around Sweet. A little bit of dirt kicked up in Forza's face. That's pretty much how he probably feels this race is going. All right, Forza rocking the inside. Nice, clean overtake. At that point, Sweet Tooth did the sportsman-like conduct and just said, go get them, boys. All right. Now, I know we got a few seconds before Mitch and Forza chase down Lance, so let's go ahead and run through the rest of the field real quick. All right, Brian, sitting 7th. This will be a great run for him. Like we were talking earlier, though, he needs to... Well, first he needs to keep the car on the track and not in the grass. And then he needs to keep the mediums from blowing up on him. So, if Brian can get 8 more laps out of this, he's looking at a nice points finish. K-Dog behind him in 8th. Same thing. K-Dog now could probably still run those softs harder than anybody else can in this little gaggle right there. We see Psycho Sui, his teammate, right behind him. Psycho on the softs, I'm not sure when he pitted. I'm assuming he probably pitted in those refresh softs, or within the last 5 laps, so he'll probably be good to go. Both Force India's looking to hunt down that Haas of Brian Mosser. All right, we see Aaron on the softs, still wondering if he's still going to make that other pit stop. All right. Same with Zeus. I'm not sure if Zeus has got to make another pit stop here. And then just, unfortunately, a disaster of a race for B-More. All right, now we just saw Forza set the fastest lap. Same for Gordow. Not the kind of races those guys wanted to see. Now, let's check this out. We were talking earlier, they need about 1.5 seconds. Let's see what McSendit's doing. McSendit. He's running... Actually, McSendit just ran the fastest lap of his race, but he's kind of bouncing around. So McSendit's in about the mid-36s. Mitch and Forza, all over the 35s, but inconsistent. But they also got to drive. Now, Forza, here we go. Low 35s. It's going to be close. I think those boys are going to be a couple seconds out of it. They're going to need a slip up. They're going to need help. And more importantly, they're going to need to get past Lance and Arrow with as much ease as possible. Let's go ahead and watch this here. Now Forza closing in on Mitch. Now here's the thing too, because Forza, he'll want to get in front of Mitch, but do you want to push it right now? Do you want to risk slowing each other down, knowing that you need to get as much ground as possible? Does he just tuck in and ride Mitch's coattails? Mitch had DRS, unfortunately way too far out. Hey Mikhail, thanks for joining, my man. Alright, we're coming up on the last 7 laps of this race. So, just go ahead and catch you guys up then in chat. Current leader, last week's winner, McSendit. Working the one-stop strategy, sitting pretty. Newcomer Aerostrike, same thing. Qualified 4th, working the one-stopper, sitting 2nd. Lance actually qualified back in 7th, I believe. Working the one-stop strategy. Behind him, pole sitter Mitchman, 3rd place starter Forza. Both those guys have worked 2-stop strategies. They got fresh tires. They're trying to go nuts. We've seen them pit. To have any shot of the win, they've had to make up 15 seconds in 9.5 laps. So those guys are running everything that they can. They've already got around Sweet Tooth. They have to get around Lance. And then after Lance, they've got to get around Arrow. And then after Arrow, they can chase down McSendit. And we've only got 6 laps to go. So you're going to see the desperation out of these guys. And there's desperation as Mitch drove it in way too hard, and that cost him. Oh, that cost him dearly. Easily gave Forza position. Forza has momentum. Here we go. The longest straight in F1. Forza will have DRS. There it goes. Got the momentum. Nothing Lance could do at this point. He's a sitting duck to Forza. Terrible, terrible camera angle. I hate you, Codemasters. There we go. All right. Forza couldn't complete the pass. No, this is not what he wants to see. Now Lance, very sportsmanlike, didn't press the issue, but side by side in that turn is death. There's Mitch going up to Forza. Side by side going into turn 1. Oh. And, oh god, I want to freaking leaderboard and not have to go through this crap. Side by side through turn 2. Side by side through turn 3. Can he clear him? No, the tire is still there. Going into turn 4. These guys know what's on the line. Unknowingly, McSendit is being handed a gift. These guys cannot run as fast. You see Lance staying right with them. You cannot run side by side as hard as you can. I don't know if Forza realized this or not and just gave up on it for now. I honestly believe that just cost those two the race. That was way too long trying to fight like that. And it all started on Mitchman trying to do a late dive, trying to slam on the brakes, ran it wide, allowed Forza to get by, and then those two kept battling. And now that I've calmed down, let's look at the split. Those guys are still over 13 seconds behind. We've got only 5 laps to go. At this point, they're fighting for this podium. I'll double check here in a second as we see Forza had the DRS, gets inside. Side by side, nope. Mitch takes that outside momentum. Forza's going to be right on him. Hopefully, he's going to try to use DRS to get into turn 1. As soon as these two stop fighting, we're going to go up to Arrow in 2nd place, see what kind of split he has on these guys. That might be great news for Arrow, too. Man. All right. They're going to run nose to tail here for just a split second. 7 seconds Arrow's got on those guys. Arrow, my man, you just need to keep that bad boy clean, and you're going to have an amazing finish. McSendit, I think he knows the writing's on the wall here. He just sees Arrow in 2nd place. 4 laps to go. And he's got 6 seconds on Arrow. McSendit's got to be feeling it right now. He knows win number 2 is there as long as he keeps control of that car. This is the battle right here. Who's going to hit that 3rd rung on the podium? Will it be Mitch? Will it be Forza? Will those two touch wheels and Lance, who's hanging right in there because those two got into a long battle earlier? Whew. All right, here we go. Forza's going to have the DRS. There he goes. He's opened it. Mitch protecting the right side. Which we've seen, though, the left side. There he goes. He goes back in the left. Forza takes the inside. Now, this left side, this high side coming out of this turn, you can carry the momentum. Just like that. It looked like Forza was clear, but Mitch carried the momentum. Forza couldn't clear him. Insanely close. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a little bit of a tire touch there. Now, here's what worked out to Mitch's favor. When they passed the last timing zone, Mitch technically was behind Forza. Mitch had the DRS. Mitch slips wide. He slipped wide in turn 1. Way too hard. Gets the momentum back in turn 2. Coming out of turn 3. Forza gets the momentum, though. All right, so Forza right now sitting in your final podium spot. These two are putting on a hell of a show. They're both hating it right now. They both wish this was for the lead and not just for third. But it doesn't matter. Every spot is the world to these guys, and they're showing it. Just incredible driving by them. All right. Let's just take a sneak peek real quick. Arrow still sitting pretty. 7 seconds on those two. Still falling behind a little bit of McSendit, but Arrow at this point, he's got to know he had an amazing qualifying run. Great tire strategy. Great race so far. Just 3 more laps. Bring it home. All right. We've seen a pass attempt every time on this straightaway. Here we go. Mitch. Great run. Forza protecting the right side. There's DRS. There's the slip. There's Mitch closing in. Both of them go just normal into the braking zone. Nothing crazy. Mitch trying to undercut it a little bit. Couldn't make the stick. All right. Mitch has just got to ride this momentum. Stay on Forza. He's going to get a second DRS right here. Very nice and tight. Now this straight is maybe about 2/3 as long as the back, so he won't get as much of a run. Nope. Riding that curb a little bit. Trying to get a nose. But Forza going to have the preferred line going into turn 3 here, so... Yep, Mitch will just tuck it back in. Fight it on another turn. All right, we're going to do a quick run through here. So, Sweet Tooth, we saw earlier, qualified 4th, doing the one-stop strategy. Lost a couple positions. Got to be happy with that performance, though. Got to be happy with that 6th place. Great job by him so far. Psycho Suey, he's up 3. I don't know if that's going to win me anything, but he's up 3, so that's fantastic for Hoot's fantasy points. Mosser, still in points, still in 8th. We were questioning about, if he could take the mediums as far as he could, so... Wait a minute. What happened to Mosser? I had it... Mosser pitted. I highlighted his name, he pitted, and then it would jump. So K-Dog now. Let's go back. So K-Dog sitting in 8th. Qualified. Where did he qualify? I believe 15th. So he's going to kill my most improved, but great job by K-Dog sitting in the points. So that's actually looking like a double points day there for Force India. Aaron Webb, 2 laps away from an insane recovery. Shocker with Aaron. Destroyed his wing on lap 1. Looking to come back, finish in the points. Same with Zeus. Had to make a lap 1 pit stop. Currently sitting in 10th. Brian's just going to try to run balls out here with those super softs, see if he can't get a point back. B. Moore is just waiting for this race to be over. So is Gordow, who's doing donuts in the gravel. Rip him up, Gordow. All right. McSendit, sitting comfy. Arrow, sitting comfy. Forza, that's not what I call comfy. Mitch, the pole sitter. All over them. Those two have traded positions back and forth numerous times in the last 8 laps. At this point, they're both upset. They both know they had winning pace. Tire strategy did not work for them. They're probably both mad at each other for pushing each other as hard as they did, so they couldn't gain ground. So now it's just a battle of machismo between the two. Who can finish in front of the other? Who gets that final podium spot? So we got about a lap and a half to go here. Now here's the thing too, if these guys get too feisty and somebody slips up, kudos to Lance. They both got around Lance, who's on those older mediums. He's right there. Like, those two get any too feisty, Lance can get him a podium spot. Mitch with DRS. Way too far back, though. If I was Mitch at this point, I'm not worried about this front stretch DRS. Just keep it as close as you can. Set up a pass on the last lap. Don't give Forza time to make a second maneuver and get that spot back. That's what Mitch has to be thinking. Complete the overtake. Don't give him time to redo it. All right. McSendit, last week's winner, current points leader, lost out on the pole by 7 1/1000ths to Mitch, and has run a flawless one-stop race. Currently, an 8-second lead over Arrow. And as we saw there too on that camera angle, Forza and Mitch aren't too far behind Arrow now. They just spent several laps battling each other for position. And it worked out to Arrow's advantage. Arrow might be looking at a personal best runner-up here if he can have a nice clean last lap here. Some gravel earlier. McSendit, look at him doing victory weebles already down that straightaway. Do it, my man. That's amazing. All right. I hate to keep away from the leader. I just had to double check. Forza. Mitch was able to stay in DRS zone, but not at all. You see Mitch trying so hard. McSendit across the line. 2-time winner. Back-to-back. McSendit putting a stamp on Season 9 early. Kudos, Aerostrike, runner-up, amazing, best PRL finish. Forza finishes out the podium after an amazing battle there. The final 10 laps with Mitch comes in 4th. Lance Stroy's gotta be happy with that top 5. Here we see Sweet Tooth crossing the line 6. I believe that should be a personal best for him, so congratulations. Psycho down the long backstretch. I don't see anybody else in his camera, so it should be a nice 7th place for him. +3 for the fantasy, or in the standings. Doesn't help my fantasy, but a great race for Psycho. Congratulations, K-Dog. Ooh, K-Dog and Aaron Webb actually getting a little close here. No. So K-Dog finishing 8th. Double points for both Force India. Aaron. Can't say enough about Aaron. Unfortunately, we didn't spend too much time. What time we did, we were talking wing, but Aaron able to recover from early issues. Oh, I thought Brian was about to do a victory wiggle for getting a point, but apparently that was lagging pretty crazy. Mr. Mosser, I believe, 10th place, snagged that final point, able to get by Zeusman there at the end. All right, let's let this loading screen go by, and let's make this official. There's our podium. There's the man, or at least his avatar. McSendit. There's some goofy-looking engineers. McSendit, 2 for 2. It would be 2 for 2 on races and poles if it wasn't for Mitch and 7 1/1000ths. Just insane. So McSendit follows up his first career victory with his second career victory. Oh, Mitch, time penalty. Lance Stroy, 4th. Mitch down to 5th. Sweet Tooth, like we said, worked the one stop, finished 6th. Psycho, K-Dog, Aaron, Brian. Rounds out your top 10, then with Zeus, B. Moore, and Gordow. Just a masterful race again by McSendit. Just ultimate congratulations to him. And then what a battle we saw between Forza and Mitch. And enough can be said about Aerostrike. Just qualified 4th, caught me a little off guard, and then ran a great, you can't call it flawless because McSendit did it flawless, ran a great one-stop race. They were kind of closing the gap there at the end, but that doesn't matter. Checker flag flew. Aerostrike, career best 2nd place finish. All right, we're going to get a little bit of blue screen going on. I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to hunt down McSendit. And let's get your race winner in here for a little chit-chat.